Yo, what is up guys, Max here, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on Season 11, or as others call it, Chapter 2, Season 1. That's what I should have called it, but you know, let's move past that. Anyways, the first thing I'm going to talk about in today's video is the live event, and that was absolutely amazing because, you know, first of all, the start of it was really good. You know, people did like have problems queuing up and everything, and I was one of them, unfortunately. But I did manage to get into the game just before the live event actually, you know, started, and I did get to experience that myself. And you know, some footage will be in the background, as you can see right now, and you know, it was pretty exciting. However, when the game froze, everyone got very confused, and I was definitely one of those people. And that pretty much had everyone on edge. Has Fortnite actually ended? You know, has Epic just trolled us? Which, you know, of course they have. But at the time, anything could have happened, to be honest. Let's be real. It wouldn't be a big surprise if Epic did actually, you know, get rid of the game, because it would have been quite a story to tell, you know, because no game has ever done that. Like, you know, completely destroyed the game and, you know, just deleted it, and that would have probably gave Epic a lot of clout. So, you know, props to them for not doing it. But it would have been a good idea, you know, in some aspects to do it. However, you know, I like what they did with the whole new map and everything, and we're gonna go into that in a bit. But as I wanted to say, throughout all of this, their marketing team is so clever. Like, as soon as the black hole actually appeared on the screen and it was there for 10 minutes, I already knew what was going down. I already knew that, you know, we're gonna have to wait at least for a couple hours, and it turned out to be 2 days actually. But their marketing team is just big brain as hell. Like, it's so clever what they did. They just, first of all, their Twitch live stream, which, you know, was going on for 2 days, obviously, just looking at the black hole, it was getting hundreds of thousands of views and millions on a daily. And at one point there was 1.6 million viewers across, you know, the whole of Fortnite at some point on Twitch when the event was going live, and that was quite crazy. And Twitch did crash in, you know, in the process, and a lot of stuff happened. And what I remember in particular is the fact that obviously Ninja gave us a little hint on Monday about when the new season is actually coming out. He said tacos, obviously like referring to Taco Tuesday, which honestly I'm not sure what the hell that is myself. It's probably some restaurant in America, I'm guessing, or maybe it's just, you know, a reference because it's a TT, Taco Tuesday. I'm not sure. Do tell me down in the comments what that is if you know. But anyways, moving on to the next point, which is the new map, and when, you know, Fortnite obviously went live. The new map is obviously very exciting, to say the least, because, you know, it gives us a fresh feel for the game, and it does genuinely feel like a different game. Like, I did not expect to have, like, for the game to have that much of an impact just by changing its map. And, you know, it's clearly different from what it was before. The mechanics are pretty much the same. However, I like what they did with the new editing mechanic, when, you know, you can just release on edit. Haven't really tried it much, but I have heard it's good. I've seen, you know, a lot of pros play around with that stuff, and it seems to be pretty decent. But moving on, to, you know, how the map actually plays out. So first of all, when you do load into the game, you do have map unlocks, which basically means you have to go around the whole map and land in different areas, and you can't see what the area is until you land there. It's just got, you know, a grey sort of overlay and a question mark on top of it, I'm pretty sure. And that's pretty exciting for the casual players, I must assume, and even for me, you know, it's not that bad of a thing. It is keeping the game fresh, of course, and it's giving me a little try and a taste for what the places are like. And, you know, it kind of gives me a choice of whether I actually want to land there in the later games, and it kind of makes the game a little more exciting because, you know, people will obviously be dropping in different locations for the first few sort of weeks, which does keep the game nice and fresh, especially in, you know, the competitive side of the game, such as Arena right now, because Arena is obviously fresh and everyone's points have been reset, and I do think that is a pretty good idea, and yeah, props to Epic for doing that. But moving on to the next thing I kind of wanted to cover, which is the new loot pool, and I've got to say I'm not a big fan of the new loot pool. Fortnite has vaulted like a lot of their weapons, and not just weapons but also, you know, heals and stuff like that, and in particular, mobility is a big problem nowadays. I have seen that they've taken out literally nearly all forms of mobility, and there's literally one form of mobility left in the game, which are the boats, of course. And you know, you don't have to be a scientist to be able to figure out that you can't really drive boats on land. So, you know, that's not the most efficient way to do things. And I see Fortnite bringing in a mobility weapon maybe in the next 2 weeks, because this can't carry on. Like, it's looking like PUBG at the moment, honestly. I have not played PUBG myself, however I've heard that, you know, the game is much more passive than Fortnite, because Fortnite is just, you know, a lot more high paced, and now Fortnite is way less aggro than it used to be, and that is because obviously you have to use a lot of mats in your fights nowadays, because you can't really push up to your opponent otherwise, because you will get sprayed and you'll lose a ton of health that way, especially, you know, when you are playing against the good players you are coming up against nowadays, which, you know, is due to skill-based matchmaking, which I will cover in a few seconds or minutes, or, you know, however long it takes me to get through this. But, you know, coming back to the loot pool, I'm not a big fan of it. However, a lot of meta changing weapons did make their way out of the game, which I'm very thankful for, such as, you know, the heavy sniper, the TAC SMG, and whatnot. The one weapon I'm actually kind of sad to see go is the suppressed SMG, an absolute legendary weapon, but I'm honestly sure that this weapon is going to make it back into the game very soon, and that is because I know a lot of people will be complaining about the new SMG, especially Tifu, because, you know, the SMG is just a spam machine, and this one just has a lot of bloom to it instead of, you know, the old suppressed SMG. And I remember that this SMG was actually, you know, one of the most hated weapons ever when season 5 was actually out, and it was the spray meta that was taking over the game. So I am sure that, you know, in maybe 1 or 2 seasons this weapon will be vaulted. However, you know, it's nice to see it coming back for at least a little while, because the drum gun came back into the game, and, you know, it felt very weird for the first few sort of, you know, days, or maybe, you know, the first 1 or 2 weeks. But after a while we did adapt to it, and, you know, we did adjust our gameplay. So, you know, it's cool. We'll have to just go with it for now, because, you know, I doubt that the weapon will be vaulted in the first few weeks, but in a couple of months it definitely will go. But anyways, that is kind of it for the new loot pool. I don't have any other problems apart from, you know, the limited heals, obviously, which is kind of sad. I do see a new heal coming into the game soon as well, because minis and bigs are just not enough. You know, the new bandage bazooka is a very good idea in my opinion. Haven't really got to using it, but it seems like a pretty cool concept, so I'm sure we'll be able to, you know, figure it out. But the next thing I kind of want to really touch on is skill-based matchmaking. It's good for the game, but it's not particularly good for the, you know, good players that just want to chill out sometimes like me, because I have to sweat every single game now, because the people I'm coming up against are playing on PCs and keyboards and whatnot, especially in Arena. I don't know if pubs are, any different with cross-platform now, because it did tell me to use cross-platform settings when I am playing even in pubs nowadays. So I don't know what the hell they've done to that, but I guess I'm gonna have to find out. This game is amazing. I love this chapter, but skill-based matchmaking just kind of kills it for me. It just absolutely ruins it. Because I don't want to be playing solos all the time, but duos makes it absolutely unplayable, because you don't get any health for a kill, which is very necessary in competitive sort of game modes, like they are trying to make pubs feel like. So I'm not entirely sure what they're gonna do about that. They have been experimenting with this stuff in the previous season in solos, and I do remember some of the effects it kind of had on me. There was a lot of people camping in the last few zones in solos, but it wasn't that big of a problem, because I was still able to drop high kill games and stuff. But now it's a little different. I'm just gonna have to kind of get used to it, I guess, because there's no other way I'm gonna be able to play the game. And I've seriously considered quitting this game in the past 2 days, just because skill-based matchmaking is getting the better of me, because I'm coming up against people that are so good and I just can't compete on console. And I'm not trying to make any excuses or anything, but I just don't have the amount of time that's required to play this game to actually be really good at it. A lot of people spend hours and hours sweating out in creative and just arena and scrims and stuff, and I can't keep up with that, because I've got school outside of that, and obviously I try to run YouTube and stuff as well, and that takes most of my time. And whenever I am free, I do play Fortnite, obviously, but I just don't have the hours to put into this game, and I don't see me investing my time into this game, because I am not making it pro. Of course anyone can do that, but I'll be honest, like it's gonna require a lot of time, and I don't want to lose out on the opportunities I have in front of me in the moment, by taking gaming over other stuff. So yeah, that's my story. But anyways, let's get off this depressing talk and move into the last thing, which is the general feel for the game. And what I'm gonna say about this is, if you are a casual player, it must feel amazing for you, because the new map is very exciting. And I did just get eliminated by a burst there. I love that new weapon, by the way. I forgot to mention that it's my new favorite weapon. The FAMAS is trash, but this burst is absolutely insane. Absolutely love it. But getting back into the general feel for the game, as I was saying, the casuals must absolutely love it and do take advantage of it, because you are going to be coming up against opponents of similar skills, so it will be quite fun for you guys. And yeah, I think that I'm gonna have to obviously adapt to how to actually play nowadays, because the new season has brought about a lot of changes, and I'm happy that Fortnite has kind of kept itself alive here, because if this big thing didn't really happen and it was just another season of the old map and the old sort of mechanics and loot pool and everything, people would have kind of just started going away from it. But as long as people say that as long as Epic just keeps bringing a lot of money into this game, and hosting big tournaments and just bringing out new cool stuff, obviously it's gonna keep afloat, and it's gonna be alive for the next year at least, in my opinion. And by alive I mean, obviously the game is gonna be dropping off. It's inevitable, but it is still going to have millions of people playing it. Maybe it will drop off to a little less than that, maybe hundreds of thousands, but it's wonderful to see the game still be playable even after 2 years, more than 2 years now. And yeah, it's just lovely. I got a lot of memories with this game. But this will be a good video to look back on, by the way, in a few years. And yeah, that's about it for today's bro. Of course I miss it up and see, like, okay, I'm just out, bro. Messing up on the last word of the commentary, obviously, you know, gotta love that. But yeah, that's about it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on this season down in the comments below, and also drop a couple video suggestions that maybe you know, I should cover in the next few videos, and I'll definitely reply to you, and I will consider even making that video, you know, unlike some other people. But yeah, that's about it for today. As I was saying, make sure you do leave a like and subscribe with notifications on to never miss another upload. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.